Hi everyone, in the last video I shared with you the differences between the 5 Newton meter brake and the 8 Newton meter boost kit when driving in Forza Horizon 5. But I left one thing out, and that was the drifting experience, because I felt drifting needed its own video. So in this video I want to compare the differences between the 5 Newton meter brake and the 8 Newton meter boost kit when it comes to drifting. And in the process I'll be sharing with you my settings both on the Fanatec control panel as well as the in-game Forza Horizon 5 settings when it comes to drifting with a wheel. So let's get to it. Alrighty, so here you have it. These are my drift settings with the 5 Newton meter brake in the Fanatec control panel. So here we have sensitivity up to 990 degrees. If you'll remember, in my older video I had like a 750. I've been slowly increasing the wheel rotation over time as I've been drifting more and more and getting more comfortable. So right now I'm at 990, and I think this is perfect right now. 100% feedback, peak is on, 7% natural damper, that's different. Natural friction and inertia are both turned off. The interpolation filter is down to 4. Force effect intensity and force effect strength are both at 100%, and everything else is turned off. So here we are in Forza Horizon 5, and these are the in-game settings. Driving difficulty obviously doesn't really matter here much, but steering does matter. We have that on simulation, and shifting is manual, and obviously we have the traction and stability control turned off. Settings that matter most are the advanced control settings. These are the settings that once I got these right, I finally was able to drift, I think, somewhat decent in Forza Horizon 5. So what do we have done here? We've left everything pretty much the same except deceleration axis, dead zone outside. Drop that down from 100 to 90. Then we go down to our vibration scale and bring that down to 0.3. Force feedback down to 0.6, center spring scale also to 0.6, and wheel damper scale also to 0.6. And that's what really creates the silky smooth sort of operation when you're trying to drift. Some settings we boost up, and those are the mechanical trail scale to 1.3, the force feedback minimum force to 1.1. Everything else you can leave as is. It's personal preference, but I do have my road feel scale to 0.8 and my off-road scale to 0.7 because I don't like that all that bumpy vibration. So here we are in my new favorite drift car drift setup. I can show you the tuning setup later, but right now this police car is amazing, my best one yet. I feel like I love it more than any other car as a drifter in the game right now. I'm gonna try to narrate a little bit how this 5 Newton meter force feedback feels. The wheel feels really soft right now with these settings, and that was intentional obviously. The slipping through the hands is awesome. It doesn't scare you. All right, there's not a lot of feeling in the road that I'm feeling right now at all. Like, I feel literally almost nothing, right? But the drift is super smooth as a result. Like, there's no feeling, except there is tightness of the steering wheel. Oh man, I ruined it at the end, but we'll finish it. So, you know, when you're driving with force feedback, you're feeling the bump and the slight ripples and stuff. None of that. So I think for the 5 Newton meter, when you turn down the road feel, you really lose that little subtle stuff that you were getting before. But in this situation, it really goes away. But obviously, we also have the damper down, and we also have the force feedback down to 0.6. So this 5 Newton meter is really not fully being utilized in this current drift setup. Right, and that's intentional because otherwise, you know, the oversteering, understeering, that stuff doesn't really work well in this game. So that's why those things had to be turned down to 0.6, the force feedback and the damper. But that does kill a lot of the feeling of the road. There's no feeling of the road. But there was force feedback in the steering wheel. So, like, you know, the center spring coming back, that stuff was good. Let me just turn. So yeah, as you can see, the wheel turns, you know, smoothly in my hands. There's no problems whatsoever. I'm going downhill right now, and I'm feeling the tightness in the wheel also. Yeah, it's there, right? So I definitely feel the force feedback, but it's not crazy. Like, it still allows me to quickly turn left, right to make those transitions when we're drifting. So now we're going to return to the 8 Newton meter boost kit, and I'm going to restart the game to make sure everything kind of resets and acknowledges and recognizes the change and whatnot. And then we'll come back to the spot and drift the zone out again, and I'll share how similar or different to the 5 Newton meter it is. So here we are, I've hooked up the boost kit, and as you can see, the max torque output says 8 Newton meters, and everything else is exactly the same. We're going to use the same exact setup. Now let's get back to Forza Horizon 5, where I'm going to show you the advanced settings that I did tweak one thing on that I want to share with you, and then we'll take the car out drifting. So these are advanced settings. I didn't change anything on the difficulty or controls. The only thing I did change a little bit here is I did have to drop down the force feedback another 1/10 of a point to 0.5. On the 5 Newton meter setup, I had it at 0.6, but in the 8 Newton meter setup, I dropped it down to 0.5, and that is because the force feedback was really strong, and turning of the wheel mid-drift was very difficult. There was just too much force coming back at you. So let's go ahead and see how it drives. Same car. We're going in reverse for whatever reason. Okay, so even with... That's what's interesting. Ooh, this is so much better, guys. Oh my god. Even with the 0.5 feedback, I feel the road on this. I feel the slight bumps here and there in the road. The other setup, the 5 Newton meter setup, was completely devoid of any feeling on the road. Here, I'm feeling the shakes. It feels alive. Feels alive. Oh, this is so awesome. This is so much better. the strength with which the wheel pulls during the drift and the transition is definitely way better. All right. It's hard to explain the difference. This is not a subtle difference. It's not a small difference. This is a pretty serious difference. Like, the car feels like it's just I control it so much more. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. I feel like I really have it under control. Yeah. I feel so much more confident with this. Wow. Yeah. So much better. Like, the steering is just so much better. It's easier, if I say so. Yeah, like, I didn't go off-road here. With the other one, I was, getting my steering wrong at that last curve, last bend, and the rear of my car would end up off-road. But here, I felt like I just had so much control of the car. And it's because how strong the feedback is still, even at 0.5. This is half, but it's still... It's like, it's better, it's good. Because think about it like this, right? This is 8 Newton meters, so half of 8 Newton meters is 4 Newton meters. In the other, with 5 Newton meters, when I had that at 0.60%, that was less than 4 Newton meters, 0.60, right? 0.6. Mathematically, that's less than the 0.5 that we have when we have an 8 Newton meter brake on. So there's a very significant difference between the 5 Newton meter and the 8 Newton meter force feedback. And it's not just about tweaking or like bringing a couple of notches up or a couple of notches down to kind of adjust and like thinking maybe the 0.5 on the force feedback settings in the game for the 8 Newton meters is maybe similar to 0.8 of the 5 Newton meters. Mathematically, you would think like that's how the difference can be mitigated, but really it's more than that. It's not just that. There's a heavier feeling with this brake. All right, there's way more happening. It seems like it feels like there's just like a lot more data being processed, and the wheel is just a lot more engaging and doing a lot more work than the 5 Newton meter setup. So I don't think it's just about the force feedback, like, bringing it up or down a little bit. I think it's more than that. So let's go down here. Let's give this a go. Oh yeah, I mean, feeling super confident. Third gear. Use the e-brake there. We're going a bit fast, I thought. Yeah, the steering, oh my god, like, I have so much control on the bends. It's because it's not letting me oversteer more than needed, right? Like it's not really getting in the way. It's actually preventing me from going crazy or like panicking and stuff like that. It's just doing, it's helping me. It's helping me a lot. And it stays tight. It doesn't just lose, it feels like the car's not losing grip. It's so weird. Oh my God. Obviously, this car setup, the drift setup that I have on this car, which I must say I created myself, my first drift tune that I did, or build, whatever you want to call it, I'm kind of very happy with it. This has instantly become, not instantly, but over time, this has become my favorite drift car. I can't believe the police car that I tuned up is like an awesome drift car somehow. I don't even know anything about tuning a drift car, but I watched a video and tried to copy some of the stuff, and it just turned out to be really good. So going back to the force feedback, 8 Newton meter wins hands down in all areas of driving. So guys, you know, I was one of those people who was suspect about this whole 5 Newton meter versus 8 Newton meter. In fact, in my first video, when I kind of gave a review of the Fanatec CSL Direct Drive system, the Ready to Race bundle, when I first got it, I was like, I'm very happy with the 5 Newton meter. You don't need more than that. It's, you know, it's completely sufficient. It's completely fine. It's very strong as it is. And you know what? At the time, I came from a G29, the Logitech G29, and that is how it felt. And I was like, I don't need anything more than this. It'd be crazy to get anything more than that. And now here we are. I have to, you know, take back some of what I was saying over there, because now I feel differently. Once I got this 8 Newton meter brake, I was like, wow, it is right off the bat, it's so different. It's so different in a good way. It's like, wow, this is amazing. I love it. I love the driving now. It's like, I already love the driving in the game, but like now I love it even more. It's like crazy. Okay, so here we are. And this car, guys, oh my God, it's so good. Another drift zone coming up. Alright, here we are. No problem. This thing can drift like crazy, man. This is. And then with this force feedback, it is so good. Look at that. Look at that. It's like I'm on ice. I'm just sliding here and there, making smooth turns, no crashing. And it's like, wow, how is this possible? I literally just started drifting like 2 months ago, 3 months ago maybe. I don't have complete mastery over it, but man, the wheel, especially this setup, really helped me make a lot of improvements and learn to drift better than what I would have done without. All right, so this is what we have. 8 Newton meter wins all around. It wins. It wins in driving. It wins in jumping. Oh my God, the jumping was so much better. Jumping off of ramps, it felt like you smashed into the ramp. Like, that is what would happen, right? Like if you were jumping off a ramp, the car would go straight in and just like the front bumper would ram into the ramp a little bit and you would hear a giant bang, and that's what you get. That's what you get. I was so shocked that for so long I was missing that experience jumping, and I do a lot of jump videos, as you know, from the channel. So that was such a refreshing change, and I was like, what? Never even imagined that. But yeah, it makes perfect sense that the ramp would generate that sort of a response and a bang and a big vibration, right? Or a big shock type of a feeling in the wheel. And that's what you get with 8 Newton meters. And with 5 Newton meters, I got nothing. Like, that was such a stark difference, and I was so shocked by that. But anyway, so 8 Newton meters, this is what we got, guys. Let me know what you think about this one. I love it. 8 Newton meter, you win, I lose. I was wrong about you. Forgive me. But this is the one, guys. This is the one. So there you have it, friends. In a moment, I'm going to show you the tuning setup for this car. If you're interested, it is public. You can find it on Forza, and you can get it if you have this car. Let me know what you think about this. If you have any questions about the 8 Newton meter versus 5 Newton meter, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. So here's the tuning setup that I'm using. It's called Best Cop Car Drift by Zigzag 6710. Give it a go, look it up, and let me know what you think about it. I love it. This is like the best one, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.